Okay, after doing that other piece, we eliminated a few things. We cut off the end of our wire brush because we just need to scrub this in, and we got the juice right here ready. We got the solder, and we're just going to go ahead and we got our temp sticks here. We'll know quickly there. We're going to do away with the acid brushes. They don't do anything except for smoke and melt. And we're just doing it on here because we don't drip that much because it doesn't take much. We may prop this up one side or the other side. Okay, we're going to spread some flux on here now. We're going to need to put this in the vise a little bit here so that we can scrub it. It's actually the scrubbing action with the flux there that creates the bond. Okay, we're going to angle it a little bit. Okay, let's go ahead and we're going to rotate this around. Okay, I'm happy with that tinning. All right, we're gonna let that cool. And then we're just gonna do a little bit of cleanup as far as hitting it on the sander, split lines, both pieces. And then we're gonna start creating the dam that will let us pour these two pieces. All right, let's cut out our dam. This will be the aluminum sides and split line for pouring the Babbitt. All right, we're gonna pull these off, cool them off, and deburr them a little bit. All right, we finished deburring our plates that are gonna go on the side and our two pieces that are gonna dam up against the slug. All right, so let's set the slug in here first. Set those pieces there. We don't have to worry about anything on this side here, so we can be able to, we're trying to set this up so that we can only, we smoke this, insert it into the housing, bolt it together, and then be able to pour one half from one side and then pour the other half from the other side. All right, now before we can pour it and have this side safe without any Babbitt running out, we took a 1/8 pipe plug and we cut it off so that we just had the end of the threads. We put a hacksaw in it, and we're gonna put it in that far, and that's it. That'll keep anything from rolling down through there, and when we smoke that, nothing should really stick to that. All right, now let's show you how this thing actually goes and comes together. And we got the split line, spacer, and dam keeps one side from flowing to the other side. Or we'll make a very, very, very thin area where when we pop this thing apart, it should break apart. All right, now I made these pass through the outside, and these circles are exactly in line with center line, so when these pop together, and this side here, let's see, I did that. I want the smooth side going towards the project. It's the kind of the way I put it together. All right, and the same thing here, the smooth side here. All right. Now this cap, we put a center punch mark in it, so we mark this cap so it goes on this direction right here. All right, and we're going to put in the 2 bolts. That way we know that we're lining up through the whole assembly. Okay, now when I squeeze, right now we have a slight gap in between here, but when I squeeze these together, watch the lifting action. That self-centers that slug into the center of the housing, and that will hold it in position for us to pour. All right, let me turn this. There you go. It lifts it up almost 1/8 of an inch. And that's what we want, about 1/8 of an inch clearance all the way around from the closest spot touching anywhere. We're gonna smoke the outside of this. Now, basically when you smoke something, you just basically give it just straight acetylene there, and you're gonna blacken it. It's also called blackening. You know, some of the old timers use smoke it. So what we're doing is we're just putting a good coating of carbon or residue on the whole center body. Now what this does is this creates a non-stick surface. Okay, now it's not hot yet. That looks pretty good. Do just a little bit more on the side here. Soot. Soot is also another name for that. Okay, now let's see if we can pick this up and assemble this in here without too much rocking and rolling, so that we don't disturb it. We want it to stay fine there. The housing and the cap are beautiful. They are there we go. I'm gonna put those two pieces in there, and we'll go ahead and we're gonna put our 2 bolts in. Just leave them a little bit loose. Those are a little bit loose. There's that one. There's that one. Okay. Now, we kind of want this as straight as we possibly can for right now. All right, I got 2 quick clamps and I got 2 Bessie clamps that we're going to be putting on this. So I'm going to bring these in close to the bottom here, and I'm going to hold this like that. I'm going to clamp that one. All right. Now I'm going to come over here, and on the top side over here, I'm going to put one of the Bessie clamps so that I'm kind of like straight across from that position there. And we're looking in at this crack here, and we want to squeeze it in. The top is just a little bit narrower than the bottom, and we'll force that in with clamps. And our last clamp here. Now we'll adjust those tighter or looser, and before we get too carried away on that, we're going to go ahead and we're going to take a punch, and we're going to punch in on our aluminum there. As soon as I find a punch. Here we go. Got one. We want that aluminum to be in right in on that outside diameter, so we can dam off as much as we can. Okay, she looks like she's solid. She's not moving anymore. Okay, tighten down the bearing cap. Okay, that looks nice and tight. That looks good. Bottom looks good. All right, now we're going to pour this in 2 pours, meaning we're going to pour the bottom and we're going to flip it over and we'll pour the top. We got plenty of room under that cap, and we'll be able to stand it up right here like this outside, and we'll be able to pour right through that opening right there. Both of these openings get drilled out, and you're able to put the ball either up or down depending on which direction you want the zerk fitting to go. All right, we've got our ingots of Babbitt in here, and what I do is we pour our Babbitt in after a job, after it's clean, and we mark it with Babbitt, and we put it in here. I pretty much use a high strength Babbitt. It tends to carry better loads and things like that, just in the environment that I work. All right, and this Babbitt melts about 720 degrees. So we're gonna turn on our bottles here, and we're gonna go ahead and fire this off. All right, this is going to take a little while to come up to temperature, but we've got our project set over here on the block, and our pour spout is on the top. We have a couple stir sticks here that we will be cleaning the top of our lead, and we'll give you a picture of that as it's coming along. And we've got our pour label. I'm going to go ahead and grab a good pair of gloves and probably a pair of vice grips, and I may actually pour this right from the pot instead of ladling it over there. I don't really like things to change temperatures too much between pot and project. Okay, the Babbitt's starting to melt, and you can see a couple ingots here that are still solid, and you can see the light little film on the top. This is pretty clean Babbitt, okay? And lots of times when you do lead or Babbitt and you've got a lot of raw stock, it has a lot of surface area that's oxidized. This is the oxidization or the part of the metal that's on the outside surface, and that's the dirt and the oxidization that's on the part, and that floats to the top of the metal. The metal's heavier than the crap that coats it. All right, we're pretty well fluid all the way. Now here's where I start turning it down, okay? We don't want to overheat Babbitt. Some of the old timers say that it was perfect temperature when you put the stick in and the stick smokes, but it doesn't catch fire. I'm kind of reaching down in there, so I'm rubbing the bottom as well. Okay, now you have a little bit of trash right there, so what you do is you take the ladle and you scoop that out, and then I just kind of throw it in a bucket. Okay, there's not too much more to do with this, so I'm going to start the preheat on the part we're going to pour.